Ancestral veneration is a whole big conversation unto itself, and today is really kind of going to be an overview. I have more advanced courses that I don't have in the Botanica, so people either have them one-on-one or they have them as a group. And then we can really get into the types of ancestors, the different layers of ancestors, how do we venerate them, different kinds of ceremonies that are done for them, and so on. We're not going to be doing all of that today. We don't have that kind of time. Today we're going to get into the different types of spirits that people think are either their guides, they know they're their guides, or they identify with them. That's one group of spirits, right? Then there's the other groups of spirits that are much more elevated, like saints, right? Versus archangels. Because people throw saints and archangels in the same category. They're not really in the same category. And again, they're more in-depth sessions that we can have where I'll go through the spiritual ladder. And I do that in a very advanced course that I teach. So then we have not only spirit guides, we have family guides. Guides that have passed on from one generation to the next generation, that they follow different relatives, if you will. So some people say, oh, in my family, it's San Lazaro, Saint Lazarus, Babaluaye. This one here, who looks very European by his complexion, but he's really from Dahomey. He's a part of the Fan people in Africa. And he is an adapted spirit in Cuba. If you go back to the history, he's really not down in the books in the Catholic Church, but we can have a long conversation about that. But the point is, he in particular, he is a patron saint of healing, and he's a road opener. So a lot of people will say, oh yeah, my grandmother, my grandfather, whomever, and I venerate, right? So that's going down different generations. They are some energies that follow in a family, but they are, the other flip side is people will venerate them even if they don't know if they attached or they show light to them. Do you understand what I mean by that? Give me an example, anyone. If you can't, we're going to keep going. So I'll give an example. I say, I love Santa Barbara. I love, anytime I have a problem, St. Barbara is my go-to for certain problems, right? I may say that all the time, but that doesn't mean that St. Barbara actually came to work with me. You like that one? Did you get that? But because many times people can say, oh yeah, I worked with that saint, but it doesn't really work for me. Well, it doesn't work for you because that energy may not be the right combination for you. That's different than a spirit guide that has been assigned to you when you pass away, or when you're born, excuse me. When people are born, they say that there's a school of spirits that are there, ancestral spirits, in addition to different guides that automatically go, kind of like, let's say this is the person being born. Okay, I'm here, we're together, let's go. Do you understand? So those guides can be relatives. They can be non-relatives.
The spirit guides?
Spirit guides can be relatives and non-relatives.